everyone, I'm Hana Nadiah, and today we will talk about teaching English to young learners. And today I'm going to present my observations of a webinar, English for Young Learners. So this is the webinar that I've observed. It is webinar English for Young Learners. Improve your English through stories. So this is a webinar for kindergarten to year 3 primary school. So which means the participants are children from age 4 to 8 years old. And the learning objectives in this lesson is to teach a part of speech, specifically adjectives, through the story by Stephen King, entitled Mud Dog. So today, we're gonna discuss about the scaffolding used in this lesson, and we will see how this lesson is promote critical literacy, and in the end, there will be a justification whether or not the activities are suitable and effective for the students participating in the lesson. So there's scaffolding. Scaffolding in education is built on the idea of a zone proximal development, first theorized in the 1978 by Soviet psychologist Lev Vygotsky. The zone of proximal development, or ZPD, is the distance between what students can accomplish on their own and what they need help with. The presence of a more knowledgeable other, usually a teacher, is a key element of scaffolding and helps students move from zone of proximal development. They help students develop new skills using scaffolding techniques to build on what students have already mastered. So now we're going to see the use of scaffolding in this lesson. So the teacher used variety of media in the lessons, namely Microsoft PowerPoint, a doll, a quizzes, and Padlet. So the teacher used PowerPoint to present the story and the material. And then through the story reading, she uses a doll named Mr. Koala to support the story reading. And then there's also a game using quizzes. And at the end of the learning, students were asked to upload a Padlet post with a caption contain adjective words that they have learned in this lesson. As we can see, the teacher used the media well because the media used supports learning activities. There are several practical example of scaffolding in this webinar. First, there is build on prior knowledge, repeat as necessary, encourage participation, check the students' understanding, and then ensure the students can demonstrate the knowledge. First, she built on prior knowledge before the story reading. So in the beginning, she tells the students that they will hear a story about a pet, but before that, there is an ice-breaking game where students had to guess an animal based on the sound. And after that, she introduced the characters that will appear in the story. And then she introduced the title of the story. Next activity, there is repeat as necessary. Because the objective of this learning is to teach adjective words, during the story reading, the teacher repeat these specific words. She repeats these words in high-pitched voice, gestures, and expressions. So ensuring that the students can understand what the words mean without her telling them what they mean. For example, when she introduced a brave, she used gestures like brave, and so on and so forth. So she also encouraged the students to participate in the lessons. She uses many encouraged words like, can you do it like this? Can you do it together? And then after the story reading, there's an activity or repeat after me activity. She also encouraged the students to participate like, who's going to repeat after me? Like, put your hands up. And then the teacher checks students' understanding by recalling the story, especially the character of each characters. Like this is the example, like is Mad Dog rude or is he fast, etc. And then the teacher ensured that students can demonstrate the knowledge by playing a game in quizzes and make a Padlet pose. So that is the scaffolding the teacher used to support learners to participate in the lesson. So now, moving on to the next point, critical literacy. Critical literacy is essential thinking that tertiary education seeks to develop in students. It involves the questioning and examination of ideas and requires students to synthesize, analyze, interpret, evaluate, and respond to the text that they've heard or that they've read. And apparently, this lesson is promoting critical literacy. So there's an activity before the story reading, an ice-breaking game where students have to guess the animal based on their sound. And during the story reading, the teacher asks the students to give a reaction if they see a dog, a man, or a lady in the storybook. And those are the activities that promote critical literacy. So now, based on explanation of the observation of the webinar, now the question is, does the activity is suitable and effective for the students participating in the lesson? But before taking sides, I consider three theories of child development in decision making. There are Piaget's cognitive development, Vygotsky about the ZPD and scaffolding, and then the Bruner's theory of three modes of representation. Because the participants are children from 4 to 8 years old, in Piaget's cognitive development, they belong to the pre-operational stage and concrete operational stage, where the children learn to speak and understand the words, images, and gestures are symbols for something else. And they begin to understand that our thoughts and feelings are unique and not necessarily those for others or put ourselves in someone else's shoes. And there's a theory of zipid and scaffolding by Vygotsky. As it explained in the beginning, Vygotsky states that the presence of a more knowledgeable other, usually a teacher, is a key element of scaffolding and helps students move from the zone of proximal development or ZPD. And in Bruner's theory, the participants are belong to the iconic and symbolic representations, where is it helpful to have diagrams or illustration to accompany the verbal information, which these lessons have been. And in the symbolic stage, the informations are stored in the form of symbols, such as language. So based on those three theories of child development, it is proof that the activities are suitable and effective for the students participating in the lesson. And it is the end of today's presentation. Thank you so much for watching my presentation and have a good day, everyone. Bye.